country might be buying a social media platform. What's that gonna look like, yo?
There we go.
We live, baby. We live. Yo.
We here. I'm here. Nah,
it's Monday, man. It's Monday. Hey, man, welcome back to another episode of Technically Speaking, where we are giving you news
that you can use.
Yeah, man. Man, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about you?
I'm getting better, man. Some of them veteran pains was getting me. I had to go to physical therapy earlier today, man. I'm still a little tight, so if I seem to be a little off today, it's because I'm hurting, man. But we're gonna push through it. Mm-hmm. Hey, we used to doing that, right, Bobby? We used to pushing through these pains, man. But
pain is weakness leaving your body, so keep on pushing.
Man,
leaving.
Oh wait. Maybe that's the Army thing. I don't know if the Air Force has those kind of things. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a different thing for working out and getting fit. I'm talking these are injury pains, man. These is from the injuries from making that weakness leave the body.
Right.
I'm still suffering from making the weakness leave the body all these years later.
Jeez. I was so tight, man. She was like, because this physical therapist, she doesn't just do like adjustments. She does exercises, stretches, she massages, and then will adjust you. So when I went in there, she was like, man, you so tight. I'm gonna make you do some workouts. So she had me do just not like working out, like lifting nothing heavy, but like stretching everything out. Because those of us that work with computers, you always like this. So it just locks up, man. So she had me doing these stretches and stuff. Then she was like working different, like but not like target, what do you call it? Not pain points, but like target areas.
Pressure points.
Yeah. And then she adjusted me, and I'm like, it felt good for a minute, but I'm like, oh, I need like another adjustment, man.
So prior to IT work, I went to school for a whole year for massage therapy. So I'm a certified massage therapist, not a licensed, just certified, because I never went to go take my state exam. Okay. And we talk about pressure points, but one of the biggest thing is people come in thinking that they're going to get a massage and it's going to be relaxing, but you're there for a reason. So when you're done having your massage, you need to make sure and drink lots of water, because we're moving all these little toxins around your body, and the best way to flush them out is by drinking lots of water. And there's a lot of times where people are like, man, that's not as relaxing as I thought. I'm like, well, no, duh. You got a bunch of knots in your back. It doesn't feel good to get those out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm feeling, the little toxins, man. Oof. Ooh-wee. So
with the elbow, baby, with the elbow.
So where are you at right now, Bobby? That's not your normal background.
No, this is not my normal background.
You won a lottery.
I'll be here for bruh. If I won the lottery, we probably wouldn't be talking right in this moment. No, just playing. There would be signs, okay?
You'd be like, technically speaking, is no longer on here.
Be like, we'll be telling y'all, Bobby has moved on to bigger and better opportunities.
No. I would.
And then you'd be like, well, look at our new studio, though.
I'm right now going live for my Bugatti. Just play.
Up in the new Bugatti.
Hey, that song is a banger. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, I'll be here for the next 2 weeks. I'm in right outside Baltimore, Maryland and stuff. So I'm up north on the East Coast right now.
That's cold, right?
It is very cold here. When I was packing for it, I'm like, no shorts, no bathing suit.
No.
nothing but jackets and pants and long sleeve and my boots and
Man, you better get you some thermals.
For real.
I don't like the cold.
Me neither. Me and the
I'm
cold.
a shorts and chanclas type of person. My blood is thin.
Yeah, man.
I like cold seasons, not cold weather. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because sometimes you got you some cold weather clothes, and you fresh in it, and if it never get cold enough, you just looking at it collect dust like.
Like, can I fit that anymore? Can I wear that?
You got a request, Bobby. This is from Creative Native. He said, get him some Ravens gear.
Ravens.
Bruh, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
I was about to say, man, I don't know how I'm feeling about these Ravens.
Don't tell them that in DC. Baltimore.
Hey, you know what though? I'm gonna make the most of my trip here though. This coming weekend, I set aside some time and I booked a tour, go through like the Holocaust Museum. I'm gonna go to DC. I'm like 45 minutes away from Washington DC. I've never been, so I am thoroughly excited about that.
Nice.
Take some pictures, see the Lincoln Memorial, kind of walk through bits of history. I love history. I absolutely love history.
I love history.
So
too.
getting to kind of see,
Me too.
you know, some of that that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
Some people are like, whatever.
Creative Native just said that too. Get you some good crab, lobster, all that stuff. If you eat that, I don't know.
No, I don't eat that. No, but I saw that this was right here. I'm at a Hampton Inn, and right in the very front of it says something about this is the crab state or something like that. Something about
Baltimore, Maryland, Baltimore.
Yep. How was your weekend, Corey?
My weekend was pretty chill, man. My kids are in my twins. They're in a program where they're with a nonprofit on Saturday, where they just go and get mentored too. They had some sports professional who works in like the medicine area came out and spoke to them. And I come to learn that my children are very critical. They're very critical. It was like these guys came to us. And it was like they were wrinkled clothes. They had, that's why I didn't mention their name. They had Yeezy slides on that were dirty. I was like, and they were like the guest speaker of the program for that event. It was like, and it was really bad. I was like, oh wow. I'm ready for my kids to be very, very observant.
No, they just set their expectations high for, you know, when you go and present yourself in front of a group of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna lean on the side right now with your kids. I get that. No, if you're talking to folks, you gotta be presentable.
Exactly. If you're a guest speaker, don't come with wrinkled clothes. Don't come with dirty shoes. Don't come. You know what I'm saying? Just don't come.
I mean, I gotta agree with you on that, man. You gotta dress for success, baby. Dress for success.
That's true.
And actually, today was my first day going back to the sales team, man. So like, I'm taking that to heart, man. Like, I can't. Everything gotta be on point. The shoes gotta be shined. Everything gotta be pressed. You know what I mean? Like, even I make sure that my collar on my dress shirts, I iron that separately. Like,
you have to,
man.
You have to
keep the lint roller on you. You know what I mean?
You want to know a trick with the collar? Sometimes if you don't get it out,
you gotta pop it.
No.
Hey,
pop that collar.
I've been popping my collar.
Here's the thing: if you you know how get your girls a flat iron comb, put them things on there for about a good probably 30 seconds. And go around the whole collar with it. That keeps it crispy.
I see the logic. I never would have thought about that. That's that's drop a bomb for using your women's equipment to keep your clothes nice and crispy, man. I'm with
low
that.
Heat. Low heat. All right. Don't be pushing that baby to 400. Okay, let's not. Let's not do that.
You don't come out with a paper collar.
You're about to burn all the way through. It's gonna be this ring just around the collar.
The shirt is white, but the collar is brown.
Oh man, that's funny, man. That's what's up, man. The kids enjoying that though.
They are, man. They've been in the program for about, they've been in the program for 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. But so there's a fall program and then there's a summer program, right?
Okay.
So the fall program, the one that they're in, they're the ones who teach them about financial literacy, and it's all the Black and brown kids in Los Angeles communities. So they teach about financial. I just said it, but also they financial responsibility. They teach you about stocks. They teach you about coding. They teach them all of that, and then they take them on field trips to colleges. Take them on field trips to amusement parks, to like national museums and things like that within Los Angeles, because you know Los Angeles got all kind of museums. You got the Getty, you have the Peterburg Museum, you have all of these, right? And so they do all that, and it's good because my kids get the educational, and then when they come back, I sit down and talk to them like, so what did you guys learn about? My son, 12 years old, about to be 13, he's really into stocks now. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you was talking about that.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
shout out to him, man.
And then
build that portfolio, young man.
Yeah, man. Dude, I realized, man, as we get older, bro, you know, and we're gonna talk about this later, but I really, really want my children to grow up not just better than I did, but also smarter than I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I told my son one time, I was like, if you grow up and be smarter than me, you won. I won. Because the goal is not for you to just be me or be a duplicate of me. You're supposed to supersede me. And your son and daughter is supposed to supersede you. Yep. So if you at a different level in life when you get 50 and you know what I'm saying, I'm a millionaire and you're a billionaire, my job is done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's what's, hey, we always want the next generation to be better. So
yeah,
that's good, man. That's good. Hey, Creative Native said, tell your son to diversify his bonds. I guess, I don't know. You need different bonds so we could bail you out, bro. I don't know.
No, bonds will keep you out of jail, even if you committed a murder.
Say what now?
Bonds will keep you out of jail, even if you committed a murder. Oh. I found that out from a friend who does investments, big investments, like $1 billion investments. I was like, I didn't know he was on that level. He was like, yeah. He was like, it could, but don't look at it like that. If you know there's a new property that's like a new stadium being built, and you have $1 million worth of bonds, you can be able to talk to the construction company or talk to the people who over the stadium and see if you can get a bid in to get either your company in or get some, or be like one of the partners in that. Buy bonds through bonds. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't. Not my chosen strategy. So, hey, you know what? Do you? You know what? Huh? Say what?
It's good to know.
Yeah,
it's always good to know.
Definitely. So what we got going on this week, man?
Right on. Well, you know, there was a few losses. So I want to go ahead and say it right now. R.I.P. to Angie Stone, one of the pioneers of R&B music.
And
then also
Neo Soul too?
Huh?
Didn't she do some Neo Soul too?
Neo Soul, yeah. But you know what? She actually was one of the founding sisters of hip hop back in the mid 70s. A lot of people didn't know that. She was part of a rap group, and she wrote a lot of rhymes for some of the rappers back then too.
I didn't even know that.
On plenty of interviews. Yeah, Angie Stone, and she died in a car accident, and she was so young.
How young was she?
She was 61, bro.
Oh yeah, man.
That's
61.
young.
No, or 60. No, she was 60. Yeah, she was 61. Yeah, very young. Very young. And then Gene Hackman, you know him. Gene Hackman, famous actor, a lot of movies he was in.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah, man. He passed away, and he was 90. But him, his wife, and his dog passed away. One of the three dogs, and they found him unresponsive. They found him and his wife and his dog in his home in New Mexico. And it's just sad because it's some people may think like, you know what I'm saying, it was foul play, but you also got to remember at 90 years old and your lady is, you know what I'm saying, she's up there too. Somebody probably forgot to turn off the AC. Somebody probably forgot to turn the gas thing off.
Yeah, I was about to say, I heard that they thought it was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Carbon monoxide could have been that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it's just,
he was 95, but I mean, it always sad when somebody passed away, but he lived a good long life.
For sure. Yeah,
I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think about Superman, and he was pretty old in Superman, the original one with Christopher Reeve. So I guess that. Yeah. Man, well, rest in peace to them, man. Hey, shout out to y'all and thank y'all for y'all contributions, man.
Exactly. Real.
What else we got going on out there in the entertainment realm, man?
All right, so people are familiar with the Joyce Reid report. Joy Reid report. Look, Joyce. I think I'm saying that right. Joyce Reid. So anyway, Joy Reid's report. She was one of the ladies that was online who, and she was a sister, and she kept it real. You know, she had no filter about how she felt about the people in the administration was been going on. And Rachel Maddow, she's part. I mean, she's all her staff as well at MSNBC are all just. They're not. I don't want to say losing their jobs. There's some changes being shipped up, right? There's some potato chips with the seasoned salt getting thrown in the bag and shaking around, and the one that don't taste good, they just getting out. And unfortunately, that's what happened. A lot of people over at MSNBC are losing their positions, their jobs. But we're in the era of creators. You have a following, you're going to have a bounce back. Don Lemon, the same situation happened with him a while back. Yeah. Now look at Don Lemon. He has over 500,000 followers on his programs and platforms, getting paid, monetized, all his social medias. And he's still able to walk his dog in public and drop a cake. I saw that on Instagram. Yeah.
Don't you drop that yellow cake?
You drop the cake, and I ain't talking about cake. Just talking about just regular old.
What are we talking about now?
You didn't drop it like it's hot. He just dropped it.
You gotta be careful when you're talking about cake.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And moving up right along, I guess I'm gonna swing this back your way, G-Mo. Boom, the death of Skype.
Well, you gotta set me up for the alley-oop though. You gotta. What's going on with Skype, man?
Well, Skype was one of the forefathers of this thing called Zoom, virtual reality, not virtual reality, but virtual meetings, right? I remember having a Skype account, and I remember that it was one of the things where you can be able to talk to businesses across the country, across the world. I never forget my first sit-in Skype meeting was with one of the owners of a very loved restaurant in Los Angeles called The Serving Spoon, and he was handling business with another a business colleague on the other side of the globe. And and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And unbeknownst to me, a couple of years later, we started having Skype on our phone. And then now we used to use the term, you know what I'm saying? You want to Skype in? Now do you want to Zoom in? These terms that we use turn from just, things we were saying, they became their own words. But unfortunately, for every beginning, there is an end.
There's an end, man.
So, Skype, we are going to miss you. What's your Skype, girl?
Yo, I used to use that. So, what you saying is Skype is going away?
Skype is going away.
When can we expect Skype to be gone?
I believe Skype is out the door right now. Actually,
already.
Let me go ahead and let me
pull it up. Last time I even used Skype had to be like
it's been a while. But I'll tell you your point, right? When us that were in the military, right, dude, that was like a godsend, man. Because now you can stay in touch with your family even when you overseas. So I remember, someone actually made like the theme song for Skype at the time. I don't know if you remember. I was in Korea at the time, man. Soulja Boy had made that song "Kiss Me Through the Phone."
Yep,
I heard that last week. I was like,
Soulja Boy should have bought it.
That song hit because I was literally kissing my baby girl through the phone because that's how I was able to stay in contact with my kids, man. So that song, that's a beautiful song, man. Like I feel like if Soulja Boy dug in and did more stuff like that, he could be a bit more relevant without the drama. But man, like, go ahead.
Side note about Soulja Boy, man. I was just over on Melrose today. He got his own shop out there.
That's what's up.
And it's right down the street from from Marathon Burgers. Shout out to the Marathon Burger.
Shout out to Marathon Burger. But definitely, like, I wonder for everyone out there, I appreciate Skype, man. Like, thanks for all the memories. That was the first of its kind. Dude, I had the Skype phone. Do y'all remember the Skype phone? They made a phone. It connected Wi-Fi. This before the cell phone started having Wi-Fi. You could buy a phone. It came with the Skype app on it. You connected to Wi-Fi and you could just Skype through the phone, man. That was good times, man. I
remember having the app on my phone, downloading the app and using it. And they gave you like 50, like you had 50 credits. Each call was like 2 or 3 credits.
Yeah, I remember that. I used to pay the little monthly subscription. Hey, man, well, moment of silence for Skype, man.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, now so what we
all right, moment's over.
We zoom in. What we got? Because we got too many options, right? We got Zoom, we got Facebook Messenger,
we got
StreamYard. By the way, if you need to use StreamYard, we got a link in the description below, man. Go ahead and click that, man.
But before you click that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this feed, because those people.
Yes. I mean, and then you got Apple Messenger, you got the Google Meet, you got so many
Signal, WhatsApp,
Instagram,
they all sprung from an idea that came from Skype.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then Microsoft bought them, right? And now they kind of use that technology for Teams. So they kind of had redundant technology. Shout out to DOGE.
You gotta say it all. DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. You gotta be efficient.
Shout out to Microsoft for having that technology, and shout out to just the way we communicate now. You know what I mean? Like you said, Skype started all of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's the world we live in, man. Speaking of technology, right?
Yeah. Speaking of technology,
you like talking about it. We've been talking about it. TikTok. The question is the US gonna buy TikTok? What y'all think, man?
Well,
I think it's in the works. Might be in the works.
You know what tomorrow is, right?
What's tomorrow?
Tariff Tuesday.
Tariff Tuesday.
Tomorrow is Tariff Tuesday.
What in the world? There's a name for it.
It wasn't until I realized it. I was like,
we gonna have tariffs
Tariff Tuesday.
On the Tuesday.
No Taco Tuesday, Tariff Tuesday.
What about Tariff Taco Tuesday? That means the price is gonna be high as hell.
Yeah, so I'm wondering with TikTok being a Chinese company and then the double tax on the tariffs on there, that could be something interesting. I know that. Look, Mr. Beast was in the running for buying TikTok, him and his team, and they said an investment that he can make, which could possibly net him $3 billion, but it didn't say what investment it was in. I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Beast gathers TikTok, but he will lose a lot of sponsorship due to the fact that Mr. Beast got very, very popular off of YouTube.
Well, I don't know if he's in the running. Maybe he'll partner with the U.S. because the story comes from Money Talks News. So the White House last week they launched the Federal Sovereign Wealth Fund, and the White House reported that they could use that fund to potentially buy TikTok. So that's that. I don't know if I remember the talks of Mr. Beast being in the running for that, but it's looking like good old Uncle Sam, not Samuel L. Jackson,
not Uncle Sam L. Jackson,
but America.
I love the way you said that. Do y'all know what? Not being condescending. Do you know what tariffs are, or why they're used, or why they're being imposed?
Let's stick a pin in that. Let's focus on that. There's a few things going on that right there, right? So that's something first. To my knowledge, first of its kind. What we're doing with that Federal Sovereign Wealth Fund. So and there may be a tie-in with the tariffs to that fund to help pay, certain things that we want here. Finance funds for infrastructure, manufacturing, medical research. So there maybe be a tie-in to where, hey, maybe some of the money we get from tariffs may go into that fund. But it definitely puts us in the running with other countries that have similar investment funds, like China and other countries that make these huge investments. So couple of things, right? One, I actually think it's a good idea to put us in a better economic position, right, in the world. And two, it's just crazy to think about a country might be buying a social media platform. What's that gonna look like, yo?
It's gonna look empty. I'm gonna keep it 100. If the country owns the platform, right? Then you do one thing wrong. Because real talk, think about it. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna pick your brain. Pick your brain. If you ever watch the news and a criminal get caught, what's the first picture they put up there?
Probably a video feed that they saw somewhere. Or no, their social media profile.
Boom.
Yeah,
they be on their face. They're like, we got this picture off of Facebook. The guy is like this.
Yeah. Good point. Anything about that?
So imagine you get a social media that's already have the highest active users on there, right? TikTok has the high. As of 2025, they have the highest active users on the platform.
Yeah.
You know, I used to. I don't want to say crap on TikTok, but I think TikTok really annoyed me. But I think it's because all the younger generations doing all sorts of stupid stuff and TikTok challenges. Those really, like, I don't know. I'm just like, y'all could be doing something better with your time, but here you are doing stupid stuff. Anyways, let me get to my point. During the campaigning part of last year, and a lot of real stuff came out on TikTok that the media never covered. We were seeing, newscasts from people who were like, I'm here right now. The news is telling you this, but I want you to see this is what's happening. And people began to believe what they saw versus what they were hearing. And I think that, I know a lot of people in Trump's cabinet mentioned that too. They believe that he won the election because of what TikTok had. They had people posting real stuff that the media didn't want to talk about.
And that also aligns with the prediction Corey said. I got to go back to it. When Corey said, when we first started this thing, he was like, yo, the candidate that backs TikTok will probably win that race. And damn it, that's exactly what happened.
Which is crazy because Trump wasn't always on the side of TikTok, you know. And
he was the one who started. He started it back in 2016. The one in the ban.
The ban it. Yeah. Yep.
But,
so it's gonna be crazy the way that pans out. But we still in our tech bag, man. So there's some other stuff going on with tech. What's going on with Apple, Bobby?
Yeah, let me tell you what's going on with Apple right now. So staying on topic with technically speaking, here we are to give you news you can use. Just some things to know. Apple CEO Tim Cook sat down with Trump last week, and they had talked about bringing jobs back to America and building our own economy here. That means stop giving money to other countries and put that back into the American economy where it belongs. Tim Cook agreed. They are going to be building a server facility in Houston, just one of the places in Houston, 250,000 square foot facility that's going to bring thousands of jobs. They're going to be doing silicon engineering, and they're going to have a place to host the servers for Apple Intelligence. And in doing so, that's going to bring thousands of jobs. They're spanning over 6 states. I know Iowa, Michigan, California, and Texas were one of the 4 states. I think North Carolina too, where they're going to be bringing jobs. And so this is going to create at least 20,000 jobs over the next 4 years. So be prepared. Apple may be coming to your area. Let's get the type of skills that are going to pay the bills. If you're not sure and you're looking at what that can be like in the area of Houston, hey. Build up your profile on IT, get some certs put in there and stuff, and put your name in the hat to get over at Apple. You know what I mean? One of the things right off of the Apple website too, they had mentioned that the company Apple, I think, is the second or third highest paying in U.S. tax dollars, highest paying companies here in the U.S. Last year alone, 2024, they paid $75 billion in taxes. That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Run that by me again.
They paid $75 billion with a billion dollars in taxes.
But their company is worth $2.1 trillion. So obviously, you know, I'll take $1 trillion and pay $1 billion.
Hey, drop in the hat.
Man, damn. That's what's up. Hey, you make up a good point, right? I know with everything going on, man. You know, a lot of people are finding themselves unemployed, but there's opportunities coming, right? So I know there's lots of resources. We talked about that last week. Maybe you might need to get reskilled, but hey, man, get reskilled to a skill to pay them bills. You might get the jobs are coming, at least in the tech world. But I'm looking at that too, because my new venture is real estate, right? So I'm looking at anywhere they build any of these data centers, they gonna need the teams working on all that stuff, from the people building the infrastructure, maintaining the infrastructure, your data scientists, your tech support, your cybersecurity, AI engineers, your regular engineers, your what did I say? Everything, the whole spectrum, AC technicians, right? Because you got to cool all that stuff. Your bio people, because they got to make sure they come out there and assess the land and all that stuff. So it's a whole ecosystem that goes around stuff like that, right? So there's definitely jobs, real estate. You know, if that's your bag, get out there. I know, because I'm looking at a couple of counties surrounding Houston right now myself. So I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Apple said that they were going to spend more than $500 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years. They're going to be expanding facilities in Michigan, Texas, California, Arizona, Nevada, Iowa, Oregon, North Carolina, and Washington State. The plans include a new factory in Texas, doubling the U.S. Advanced Manufacturing Fund, a manufacturing academy, and accelerated investments in AI and silicone engineering. That's big money.
Speaking of silicone engineering, actually the news broke today. Trump made another announcement with the CEO of the Taiwan Silicone Manufacturing Company. They announced that they're about to build actual factories here in the States, mostly in Arizona. So that's another area.
Hey, you must be reading the timeline, because Valentino Lopez said Taiwan is coming in with $100 billion in investments by TSMC in its Arizona-based semiconductor manufacturing operation. Estimated 20,000 new jobs is in Arizona.
See,
I think we know who Mr. Valentino Lopez is, right?
Hey, shout out to you, man. I don't know who that is, but much love. Thanks.
He knows.
Yeah. Oh, I know Valentine. Okay.
Yes, you do.
It took me a minute.
Yep.
No, thank you, honey, for joining the stream and getting us some news that we can use straight out of Taiwan, building up the economy of the United States, just here to make it great again.
He said, tell Miss Lopez hi for me. He said hi.
Yeah. Well, he said that, and she was on a roll, and I was like, let me not stop her. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of figured, I was like, Lopez. I know who this.
That's what's up. I was like, is it Valentino? Okay, that's this. Hey, man, this opportunity's coming, man. I know a couple of years ago, people were giving up on tech because there were a lot of layoffs in tech. Remember that? But tech is back, baby. It's coming back, and that's our origin.
I just want y'all to read between the lines in that.
Go ahead. What is it?
Apple Intelligence. What's the acronym for Apple Intelligence?
AI.
There you go.
Oh, you.
These jobs are coming, right? They are. So you need to be prepared. I'm talking to the people on the stream. Be prepared. Get you an AI certification in something, because these jobs are coming and you're gonna need those things.
Yeah.
So we're giving you the news that you can use, because AI is the plug and data is the new what?
Drug.
Boom.
Yep. Nah, it's for real. And if not you, right? Like me, I'm too old, man. I'm not getting reskilled into that. But your kids, your grandkids, your cousin and them, all that.
You better learn that AI, boy.
Guide them in the right direction, man. They take them off that phone if they not using some type of AI learning program, man. Like
my whole thing,
these kids, man, get these kids
ready. You build it, get off of it. If you ain't build it, you can't play with it.
You know what other job I didn't even mention? Developers. It's gonna be a lot of developer work, a lot of cloud work, cloud engineers,
I was gonna say cloud engineers, cybersecurity. None of that stuff will ever go away. They're gonna need hands-on people physically watching to make sure nothing's being hacked.
Yeah.
You know what other field too? Just regular physical security.
Yeah.
They're gonna need that too. They gotta protect the facilities.
Yep, they are.
So
they're not gonna need those. They're not gonna need those.
They're gonna need it. I need, because when you hear me out. You talking to someone who just came off a cybersecurity role at a building. You will always need that requirement for the physical security. You will always need the guard because of requirements, especially if you have someone say like let's say Apple with a data center and maybe they got a contract with the government. It's gonna be a requirement to have someone there physically protecting that stuff. So that ain't going nowhere.
No. There's gonna be someone there, but it's not gonna be a human. Nah. Those Tesla bots that were created, they're not leisure. 2.0 Tesla bots are.
The government wanted if you're talking about something that's like classified or something, maybe for a non-classified infrastructure, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the government will not accept. They will not put that in the hands of a robot. Not that. I'm gonna agree with you.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. You're talking about stuff that goes off into like the black world. No, they're gonna have physical eyes on it. People gotta sign inventories and do on-site data logs and audit logs constantly.
So you don't think those bots that Elon Musk created will not be able to handle that type of skill set?
No,
not even remote.
We won't risk it. Nah, certain things like once you get into different classifications,
I think that's a liability.
That's too much of a liability. Yeah, because there's too much liability right there, man.
We ain't there yet, Corey. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Efficiency.
Wait, what?
I'm just thinking about Department of Government.
No, I hear that, but I mean, I hear that too. And I threw that out there because I know some people are really into security, man. So there are opportunities coming. I don't think you're far off. Like, I think eventually we may get there. But I don't think we could trust the technology enough to really take on those liabilities, man. Because people got to answer for that stuff. You know what I mean?
How's a robot going to answer if it glitches and something severe happens and there's a data breach, there's a hack, there's a spillage, and a robot's not going to account for that. You know what I mean? A robot can't be held liable for what happens, whereas a human could.
Good point. Yeah, no, you're right. So like you're talking to someone who I literally had to put together incident response plans, right? So that's stuff those are check boxes you have to go off of. Like, for example, right, the incident response plan I recently built, one of my steps is I have to contact the FBI. You know what I mean? Like, maybe can a robot do that? I don't know. You know what I mean? And can a robot take chain of custody, right, of the machine in question and then give a articulate narrative of what happened? You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're there yet.
I agree that it seems a bit far-fetched. However, at the rate of technology moving and at the way things are moving as far as like because I don't know if I was flipping through YouTube or was it TikTok where there's in place to start using these using the Tesla bots for commercial use. So
I can see them being used for some things, but you're talking about physical for security for a government facility, housing classified documents and pieces of equipment that nobody outside the United States or shit even inside the United States has any business touching or dealing with or knowing about. Right. I don't think so. But other commercial uses, Corey, I'm with you. I do think it's possible.
Yeah. Like just regular, maybe the servers that's just housing your Gmail, maybe that data center, they'll use the robots. But if it's something with a government contract, I mean, there's certain requirements like FedRAMP. I'm pretty sure so they need a human. They would actually need a human. You're gonna have to have a human, dog, which is good because that makes there's job security. Because we want people to be able to work. Hey, we got something. Right. Dr. Poole bring up an excellent point, Dr. Poole. someone is going to have to sell those things and services too. So you're gonna need some sales teams,
Yeah.
man. Hey,
and they got, I'm sure they're gonna have an affiliate link, and I will be the one.
I know. I might look into it. Get me a robot butler.
Hey. Good point. Speaking of which, we're gonna be talking about some sales.
Breaking news.
Whoa, what happened?
U.S. is pausing its support for Ukraine effective immediately.
Oh wow.
This is off of Apple News. The U.S. is pausing military aid to Ukraine. A White House official said days after Trump and Zelensky clash, which we're not going to talk about.
Oh no, I think we should, baby. Head first, dive into that pool. All right, maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe
next week. You know what I mean? Because there's always two sides to that story. First of all,
it's actually like a lot of sides to that story.
Man,
I saw the whole 11-minute clip, and I was like, okay. But
just like we're gonna talk about it, we might as well just talk about it. It's live, man. It's breaking news.
Just came out 5:10 p.m., 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The U.S. will pause all military aid to Kyiv until President Trump determines that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is making a good faith effort towards peace negotiations with Russia, according to a White House official.
Oof.
Ouch. Oof. So since we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it.
I just saw that there was people in his cabinet in Ukraine that submitted articles of impeachment to get Zelensky out of office.
Ouch.
I saw videos on TikTok being shared on YouTube. People getting pulled off the streets from military recruiters and stuff like that in Ukraine because nobody wants to serve in the war because people are dying. It's terrible. It's terrible. They said that military-age men from 18 to 60 aren't being allowed to leave the country at all. There's recruitment people everywhere pushing people to go into the service and stuff, like physically forcing them.
Well, that's like the draft we had back in the 60s.
Yeah, back in 60s, 70s, same thing.
Draft, you either go to jail or you go to war.
Yeah.
They needed able bodies. I mean, I get that. What I do hate though is when I did a little bit of research about Zelensky, right? He seemed like he was just a good guy. Like, you know, he did this stuff for his country. He was trying to make his country better. His country got invaded by Russia. And even when he was at the event at the White House, he said that they had signed peace treaties in order to stop, but Putin ignored those peace treaties. He signed it, but he still went and invaded. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm like, I understand why his own country could be like, let's get him out of there because he's not strong enough. Because, you know what I'm saying? A leader of a country needs to be strong, firm, and one of them type of leaders to be like, look, I ain't taking no SHI, right? You need to cut it. Let's get it done, right? And he seemed like he was too. And I understand he came with the hat in hand situation because he was for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And I mean,
why is that?
I don't know. I mean,
come on, Corey.
Look, I'm not picking sides.
Money.
Of course.
Money.
Okay, yeah.
Money. That is why. He came over here to pull on the heartstrings of people here in the United States that were for Ukraine. That's what he's doing, is pulling on heartstrings. Of course, there's always more to the story and stuff, but they even said that, you know, we sent over $100 billion in aid to Ukraine. And then he kept saying, well, we didn't even see half of that money. Like, where's the other part of the money? And then, if I'm not mistaken, didn't his wife go and buy a $4 million car?
I didn't know.
Y'all saw that, right? She did. She bought a $4 million Bugatti. That's
yeah. That's the second time somebody's going to win a Bugatti. That's the second time.
I'm telling you. That's why I said I'll still be here, but there will be signs that I won the lottery because my butt will be inside of a Bugatti. I want a $4 million car.
You know, there's a couple of different perspective I saw, well, one, my own perspective is I understand the need to no longer be the world's police at some point and focusing on our own country. I'm not against that. You know what I mean? War is bad, right? Can the United, what is it? UK and all of them. What's their
NATO?
Can NATO do more? Huh?
NATO hasn't been doing more. The bad thing about the US is because of who we are, we do jump into all these conflicts. Right?
We can share the wealth. We can share the wealth. I'm just saying we can't share the wealth.
We share the wealth and responsibility.
And responsibility, baby. Like, I mean, step up. Like, I see
that. I think what made America so powerful in the eyes of other countries was the fact that when we did step in, we did make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I feel that. However, the one complaint we get the most is how much of a deficit we're in. That stuff costs money, so when we help them make an impact, we go on more of a deficit. So I understand that point of I want to help you, but I don't want to cut my leg off to help you. You know what I mean? Like, if
it's all about Department of Government Efficiency.
Those funds have to come from somewhere. The U.S. taxpayers, we should not be paying. We should not be paying for that. For none of it.
Now, on the other side of the coin, right? I'm gonna play Angel's advocate.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
I like that.
If I mean, this is reminiscent of when we found out Russia was in Cuba. You know what I mean? And the fear was, if they make it to South America, here comes communism, right? And I do understand the need to stop communism. We don't want that spreading and getting closer to us, basically, right? So it's a seesaw, right? Like, on one hand, I get it. We don't want more deficit, right? Funding someone else's war. But at the same time, we don't want communists getting closer to our doorstep, because that is a thing. You know what I mean? I don't know what the right answer is, Sway. I don't know. And I'm gonna hit you with a curveball, right?
So,
let me throw this curveball at you real quick, right? So we've had conversations of reparations, you know, for the descendants of slaves. So on one hand, you say you can't pay the reparations to the descendants of slaves, but I'm seeing $380 billion going to help someone else fight their war.
Yeah, I want my reparations, for sure.
So here's the question that I have is, right? Since we're going there, if Putin is not respecting the paperwork that he signed, right? And our president, you know what I'm saying, he said it in that meeting. He was like, he didn't like them, but he likes me. So he'd be like, look, can we stop killing them? Can you stop killing them? So we can stop funding them. And then we can go ahead and just end it like that. Because he said it would be over. He said that, you know what I'm saying, I can make it stop.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that interaction, and let's all actively, you know, converse about this. Why is that interaction? Why was it being televised?
Oh, I know. They wanted okay, media.
Because Trump doesn't have to let anybody in there. They can have peace talks without any cameras being in there. But I believe it was a strategy that he's using. I believe that, you know, Trump and the administration, JD Vance saw it coming from a mile away, and he was there to stop it in his tracks. It's kind of funny because JD really took over the conversation, and Trump's just there kind of nodding his head, shaking, you know, with what JD was saying. But I think that this administration, they've really been focusing on transparency, wanting to there not be any secrets. So the American people, if they have questions, they could see this is what was being said. You don't have to read off of somebody else's notes. You can hear it for yourself and see it for yourself.
Right.
That's a good thing. But
I mean, I agree. Transparency is key. You want to be able to just get it from the horse's mouth. You don't want to be able to feed somebody else. Because remember the game we played with as a kid, telephone? When somebody at this end tells you something, and when you get all the way to the last end, it's like, oh,
completely different.
Booger. Like, Johnny didn't pick a booger. Johnny was supposed to pick up a book. So
that's a good analogy, Corey. Yeah. That is a really good analogy.
So I get that. Transparency is key. Feed it to them right when it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we got some feedback from Dr. Poole too. He said the guy has already been in UK. He went there on Sunday, and almost all the UK NATO nations support him and are going to be doing a lot more for Ukraine. I saw that too, and maybe that was part of the plan. To show that transparency, to kind of force NATO step up.
Yeah. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen is if Ukraine is allowed to come into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is NATO, come into this group of nations. Trump had him write up, and they agreed to a deal about $250 billion worth of rare mineral rights, which gives the U.S. access to be able to go into Ukraine, set up shop, mine those minerals. Because I was like, wait a second, there's got to be something else going on with this. Well, what's going to happen is if we end up doing that, Russia cannot make a move into Ukraine if the U.S. is there, because then we are going to see it as an act of war, and this will mark the reason for another war starting, but not with the U.S., not with Ukraine and Russia, this time with the U.S. and Russia. So there's a reason for it. I feel like Trump was trying to make that deal with him, because if there's U.S. presence there, Russia can't come.
Let me ask you a question.
No choice.
Do you think Russia?
Real quick, we got more feedback from the community. Dr. Poole also said the Ukrainian leader should have just said he's worried that when Trump leaves office, it's going to go back to normal, i.e., Russia is going to go back to just trying to take over, basically, which is a valid fear. And then Creative Native said the U.S., we can't be the only one fronting the bill,
which is what's been happening.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been fronting the bill, but nobody else is. So I'm just curious.
Well, I think I forgot my statement after what Creative Native said, because you're right. We can't. I mean, America can't be the only one fronting the bill. But what I was going to say is, if Russia, will he respect that? I mean,
that's what you were saying. Yeah, will
Putin respect that if we have, if America set up shop in Ukraine?
So one of Trump's biggest pieces of his campaign was peace through strength. His strength is going to be Americans in there. So it's letting Putin know, because I don't think Putin would have even entered Ukraine if Trump had been in office during that time.
Okay.
Trump's a F around and find out kind of president. He's
not
going to sit back. He's not going to sit back and just let people do their thing. He's going to come in and quietly let you know he's about to mess your world up if you continue moving in this direction. And that's how you have strength, is peace through strength. There's got to be a little bit of fear, though, in order to initiate respect from other countries. It's a
process. Let's be real. To answer your question, if he doesn't, hey man, let's settle all our affairs, man, because we're looking at a nuclear war at that point. Just, I mean.
So with that being said, right?
I'm saying in that scenario, if we had Americans there, right, and they came in over as an act of war, man, nuclear, it's going down, pimping. Like
he said, settle all affairs. Hey, all you gotta say is get on the Elon Musk to Mars.
For real.
That is so crazy. I can't believe Elon is still talking about going to Mars and stuff.
Let me tell you why. Okay, I'm gonna give you the game. And it's only because I seen it in parts, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys just gave me the peak. I can't believe I'm saying this live on all these social media networks. All right. America's going to do an agreement with Ukraine to be over there in minerals, right? Mm-hmm. The mining and everything. That's going to last longer than Trump's term. When Trump's out of office, Putin's still going to be in power. He's going to invade because his buddy is no longer in there. I believe Putin respects Trump, not so much America. Boom. That goes into play. Then the sitting president has to respond. Whoever that sitting president be, whether it's J.D. Vance or the next American president, right?
So if Trump does a good job and he lines up the next candidate for presidency, and we begin to see the different types of moves, because this is going to be Trump's last term. So there's no talk of what's going to happen after these 4 years because Trump isn't going to be the president anymore. We're going to see what happens to see who he lines up and who's going to kind of, I don't want to say fall in line, but who's going to see if are you on the MAGA train? Are you here to keep America great again? You know what I mean? Those whole what are they called? Slogans. Yeah, like afterwards. So I think it depends on who he lines up to see if
right. So let's look at it like this though, because let's look at it. People, okay. Let me get to the point so I won't go sideways. So in the event, if a sitting president that does not respect Trump's way of work and does not agree to the terms and conditions to what's over in Ukraine and do things their way, Putin goes into Ukraine. American lives get taken from their invasion. That's the World War III. You see what I'm saying? Trump said it. You don't know what you're talking about, Zelensky. You don't know, because obviously Trump is the type of person who don't show all the cards. He said it. You don't have any cards. I have all the cards. And part of his cards is being putting America in Ukraine. But when he leaves office and somebody who is not so thrilled with Trump, and let's factor in the fact that people who are not happy with the way that the MAGA train handle business, like after like less than 30 days eliminated these jobs. These people are still American citizens who got to vote. So when they vote 4 years from now, they're like, oh no, I can't trust the Republican Party because they said they're going to do one thing, but I lost my job 4 years ago. So people voted with their money, with their dollars. I'm not thinking, and see, this is how I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna just go to this party because of the fact that they the ones who they said they were going to do this. Let's give them a shot. Because this party said they were going to do this, but they didn't tell me that they were going to fire me too. You feel me?
Good point.
So then now you got a Democratic president in office. You have American lives in Ukraine, and Putin does not care about that president. So he doesn't care about whatever's you talking about. So he invades Ukraine, and Ukraine happens, and then now we're in war.
It's wild to even think in the next 4 years that Putin would still be a president because, when was the last time election was held over there?
He's been president for how long now?
Like, was it like 30 some odd years? It's been a long, long time. He's been in power for a very long time.
Why would he release power now? Especially when his buddy has power in the most powerful country in the world.
That man's a dictator. They don't have opposition there. If they do, they're silenced.
Well,
immediately.
Immediately.
It's a communist nation, so
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't have opposition in a communist country because they'll take your ass right on out, dump you at the train station, never to be heard from again.
And so
now I will say this: I do like the concept of the deal to where we can make some of that money back. You know what I mean? If we were able to get in there, get that mineral deal. So I know we are trying to wean ourselves off of China. That's definitely important.
Trump's a businessman. He originally asked for $500 billion. He knew he wasn't going to get that. He's playing chess. He knew he wasn't going to get $500 billion, but Ukraine came back and counteroffered with $250 because apparently we had only given them over $100 billion, and so they were only going to pay us that much back in the mineral and the mineral rights or whatever. So it's a win-win for us as far as money coming back into the United States. It's a way of paying us back, I guess. I think there's a little bit more to it.
Another world war in the future.
I don't know. There might be more to it. We can't see all the cards in play right now. We really don't.
We don't.
Crazy.
We're just speculating. Speaking of cards.
It's another pivot. It ain't on the thing, and I meant to put it on there. Trump is giving people gold cards, not green cards, but gold cards.
Oh yeah.
You pay $5 million to come over here and work. I think if you got $5 million, do you want to come here? And do you want to work? If you got $5 million, I'm just saying.
That's like a rhetorical offering, huh? Like, hey, you come. We got to pay this $5 million.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if I won the, you know what I'm saying, the Spanish lottery, and boom, it's $70 million. Okay, I'll go ahead and take 14 of my family members, and we up because we out. Mm-hmm. However,
I can see that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you also have to work. It's not. You got to be a working citizen now.
Yeah.
If I got that type of money, I'm not going to here to work. Now, let me ask you this. If I got that kind of money and I did that, can I come over here and start a business?
That's what I thought that it was for. So you're given $5 million paying for that gold card to come over here, right? But then if you have that type of money, clearly you can be an investor into the American economy by building up a business.
You just triggered a light bulb moment. We just talked about the Taiwan Silicone Manufacturing Company coming over here with their investment. I wonder if they will buy some of those cars for some of their employees in Taiwan, Taiwanese folks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Hey, they're smart. They're like big time software engineers, developers. You know, the sky's the limit for sure.
Yeah. No, you know what? That's real because I mean, Bobby probably knows this, but those of us that work in tech, we know that a lot of your high skilled developers don't come from the US. They come from India. So I mean, they come out the womb coding, man. So they find ways to get this talent over here. I think Elon Musk had mentioned something about that.
About the HB2 visa. Yeah. And that's when him and Banning got into it, because Banning was like, if we're gonna do HB1s, we might as well do HB2s. And he was like, wait a minute, hold on.
You guys are too dumb. That's basically what he said. He's like, nah.
Yeah. He was like, hold on. That's the difference from a gardener and then somebody who working in the clinical engineer.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So since y'all took it, you know, to the whole military realm, man, we gonna end off, man, talking about the VA, man. Shout out to all the vets out there.
Shout out to the
vets. And thank you for your service, man, because I opened up talking about how I had to go get some treatment for one of my injuries and stuff, man. So I know how it is, man. So we talking about the VA, man. So as what the Department of Government Efficiency?
Yeah, DOGE.
We gotta say it, DOGE. Okay, we said we had to say it. So they're in their rounds of making the government more efficient. They hit the VA last week. In the VA, they cut $2 billion in contracts and subcontracts and whatnot. So the looming question is, will this have an impact on the type of care we get from the VA as veterans? What y'all think about that?
I think it will.
Yeah?
I think it will.
Where did they do the cuts at? Because it's kind of a blanket statement, and unless it says it hit this department, this department, this department.
In the article, it was talking about they found like redundant services and whatnot, and they're claiming that it won't, right? They're like, oh no, we found that like coaches, that type of stuff.
If you got 3 government contracts and all 3 of them won a certain contract, but it only needs to be done by 1 company and not 3 companies, and you've eliminated those jobs, is that the type of redundancy that we could be talking about?
Maybe.
Okay, wait a second. Do we need, 300 people doing these 2 jobs?
Well, I mean, and with that being said, right, so for those who did not know, I remember reading an article, I think last year, where the VA was rated the #1 healthcare system in our country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but do you know why? Do you know why? Take a wild stab at it, Bobby.
A wild stab.
Probably not the best thing to say, and I'm talking about health coverage and stuff. My fault. Take a guess.
I don't know. I'm kind of biased because I receive VA healthcare. I can't say what.
Well, then let's not jeopardize you.
That is
Anything thrown in there could be.
What about you, Corey? Why would you say that the VA could be rated as the number one healthcare services in the country?
Probably because of the fact that they ask veterans who actually receive it, and number two, I believe veterans should be. I mean, should. You know, it should be like no blame, no problemo. I mean, nothing. Like, you're a veteran. You served this country.
Yeah,
you get the highest of care, regardless.
So you're saying we should be entitled to health care merely on the fact that we signed the dotted line, the 1%ers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the answer, G?
So you're not far off. You're not far off. So all of that, yes, and the fact that the VA healthcare system is not a profit-driven industry, where private sector hospitals are. So like the VA isn't worried about making a profit. They're just worried about taking care of their veterans. Yeah. Right. So when I read that, I was like, damn, I never thought about that.
Wow.
So and I will say this, man, they've been taking care of me, man. I've been getting pretty good service. I was scared on my way out because I heard some of the horror stories.
I did too, which took me so long to file for my disability because I was like, I don't want to wait 9 months to see a provider. No, I'd rather just pay out of pocket and owe a doctor and get seen immediately.
I've never had no issues with the VA.
I know it's not like that now. I know it's not like that now.
So I mean, I've heard the stories. I tell people, it's not our grandparents' VA, right? Yes, they had issues in the past, but they've been under so much scrutiny, man, and went through so many changes. I've had a good experience, and like all my friends that I know that use the VA, same. I get the same type of feedback from them. And I say that to say, I really hope that, you know, these 2 billion in cuts and contracts do not impact that and take us, you know, stepping back to what our grandparents used to complain about, man.
I got a question.
It affect only medical, or it affect everything?
Say what now?
Does it only affect medical, or does it affect everything?
It was kind of vague. I mean, they were kind of vague as far as like the actual specific contracts that got cut. I think it's left to be seen. I'll come back with an update.
Because a good friend of mine works for the VA, and I know that, like, I believe he's still good. Because I chat with him about other things outside the VA cuts. But I know that, like I said, my hat and heart goes out to you guys for what all you guys had to endure. Because I know a few veterans that we went to high school with. Like, they relapse often, but thank God that they recovery as well, and all through the VA. I remember talking to one of my brothers. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but he was like, you know, he had PTSD trauma, but he's able to get an apartment building, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes he wouldn't stay in it because of his PTSD. He'll roam the streets of LA. However, you know what I'm saying? He'll get treatment, and instead of them kicking him out, they'll find a way to get him back into a place where he can actually go back and live on his own. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. It's a lot that goes in. That's why I'm like, where did the cuts happen? Are they not going to take care of their veterans anymore? You know what I'm saying? Are they not going to allow them to get jobs? Are they not going to be able to do
programs like that? Don't go away. And I think I know who you're talking about. So I actually been talking. I check in on him from time to time, man.
You know,
we talk on Facebook, man. That's another thing. Let's look out for each other, man. Check in on each other.
You said that the VA is not for profit, right?
Correct.
So hear me out. Maybe if you're a veteran, you're listening. Maybe you struggle with this too. I struggled going to VA to get health care because I know that they have been. I gotta be careful with my verbiage because what I'm thinking in my head may not come out correctly. They have been supporters of throwing pills at the situation. Pills, right? Throwing different types of, drugs at the problem. And I know that there are people who've become addicted to some of the things. And so my concern is like, the money has to be going somewhere. these pharmaceutical companies in order for these drugs to be prescribed to veterans with PTSD, with traumatic brain injuries, severe episodes, anxiety, depression, things that their life will never be the same again. So if they're not for profit, which I'm not going to disagree with you on it, maybe they're not, but somebody's getting money somewhere still.
No, I hear that. I mean, there's always two sides to the coin. I mean, the government just in general is not nonprofit, except for when we get this federal sovereign wealth fund. So yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
So I mean, the U.S. government, federal government, is a nonprofit organization as a whole, anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would probably take what you said up a notch and say that's just the whole medical industry, right? From what I've heard, but in my experience with the VA, it hasn't been like that, man.
Yeah.
I've been to physical therapy. I've been to. I mean, they even gave me a dietitian when I found out I was, pre-diabetic, to help me map out a way to try to reverse it before I could become full blown. I mean, they've offered and given me so many resources, man. So that did not involve pills. So my experience hasn't been that. So it's like I said, they take good care of me. Matter of fact, my prescriptions, I get a text message when they're about to renew. It says, "Do you want to accept?" I say, "Yep," and they send them things in the mail, baby. Let's go. Come on now.
4 days later, it's in my mailbox. That's right.
But I think the PTSD thing, man, I just think it's one of those things that we're still like so much to learn when you're dealing with the mind. As smart as we are with AI, man, AI still can't touch how intricate the human mind is. You know what I mean? I think that might have something to do with it, but we'll see, man. But we'll see. I hope it doesn't really impact the care, man. What else did we have? You know what? Let's talk about one more thing before we jump off, man.
Okay.
One more thing. So one thing we had that we brought up was, what's the difference between microparenting and micromanaging your kids? Y'all chime in on IG too.
I picked this topic because of the fact that I find myself hovering over my kids, and hovering is a exaggeration.
No, it's not. We hover.
Yeah, but more metaphorically, right? It's like I'm not really letting them fail, because failing is just a step to success, right?
Yep.
And it's like I noticed that the other day, and up until here recently, like I was thinking like I'm micromanaging my kids. I'm like, don't do this, don't do that. And I'm like, you know what? When I was their age, I was catching a bus to the mall, to the Galleria Mall, shopping on my own at 12. You know what I'm saying? I was able to make sure that I got home at a decent hour. I'm scared to let them get on the bus. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I'm scared to let them walk home from school, just because of the fact that I think that I haven't prepped them enough to do so. You know what I'm saying? I honestly, real talk, social media allotted us a lot of information to have now, so we can see what neighborhood has pedophiles, what neighborhood this and that. They had them back then, but we just didn't have the information.
We didn't know. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We probably shouldn't have done half the things I did growing up. Looking back now, I've been like, dang, I would have whooped
right. You know what I'm saying?
if I found out they did some stuff, you know?
Yeah, and I don't, and Lord knows, I do not want my children doing any of the stuff I did at 12. You know what I'm saying? But I think the fact is, I don't know. At first, I was like, am I micromanaging them? Like, but then my wife had to check me. She's like, no, your kids know how to get up in the morning, ask for breakfast when they want it, right? They ask for a snack when they want it, right? Mm-hmm. So they have the wherewithal to do for themselves. It's just selective. And I was like, So then now I'm at the point where I let my son go ahead and take the trash cans out by himself. At first, I used to go out there and have him do it with me, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then,
take your trash can to the curb or to the side of the house? What do you mean?
To the curb.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I still had that fear of, what if they don't do it right? or let me go back after them and check. And I didn't have that when I was growing up. I was outside. I would take the trash outside and then talk to my homeboys for like 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We was outside. We was really outside.
Hey, till the street lights came on.
Yeah. But then I even realized when I was 14 and 15, there was sometimes I was outside, street lights was on.
Yeah.
My mom didn't call me because why? We didn't have
no phone.
We didn't have that. You know what I'm saying?
She said, Garth, you can get your butt home right now.
Yeah.
Right. I know now it's like if my son and my daughter doesn't call me when they get picked up, because like I told you, they go on these trips on Saturdays. So if they don't hit me up like around the time that they supposed to be at the facility, I'm texting them like, hey, are y'all back yet? And they're like, no, we're not. But I'm taking away, it's like I'm handicapping their ability to be able to be free birds and fly.
Independent.
Yeah.
Handicapping their independence. Interesting way to see.
You know, it's funny you say that, right? Because it is a delicate dance. I was watching this one child psychologist on an interview. I think it's the Diary of a CEO. Love that podcast, by the way. But anyway, he was talking about how a lot of times when parents kind of do the hovering too much and they do everything for their kids, one, you not only do you cripple their confidence, right? Or you hinder their confidence. Sometimes some parents do that to boost their own confidence. So it's like a twofer, right? You're hindering their confidence, but it's boosting your confidence, but you're not preparing them to be self-sufficient. Like when he said that, I was like, ooh, it made me think back. I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I'm not doing anything just to boost my own confidence. You know what I mean? I need them to be confident. However, Angel's advocate, right?
Right.
I don't know how it is in California. We live in Texas, and dude, we get a Amber Alert all the time, man. Like they be snatching kids out here because we're not that far from the border, man. So it's like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, I think we gotta find that good mixture, right? Because I don't trust people, man. Because I don't want to be like, okay, I'm letting you go be self-sufficient, and then you get kidnapped. You know what I mean? So like certain things, I'm just.
Right.
And then here you are living with guilt for the rest of your life because you tried to let them have some independence, some form of independence, and this is what we get for it. Type of.
Yeah.
Trust me, I have all girls. I play this scenario in my head all the time. Especially with my 15-year-old, because she's the one who kind of wants a little bit more independence. But I do have to say, anytime she does do like trips or anything outside of what we do with our family and stuff, she is 95% of the time with folks from church. So there's already people part of the group that I already know. So it's a little bit different. I haven't let her go anywhere with like her friends by herself or anything because I'm not there. And some of it, I just don't trust her, you know, and that's kind of her fault. You know what I mean? Because if you feed your parents BS and they smell it and you continue to feed it to them, don't be mad when they don't trust you.
Yeah.
You can't build a relationship based off of lies and expect trust to happen because that ain't gonna happen.
100%.
It's not gonna happen.
Real.
So I'm not a hovering mom, but I'll be here to smell your BS and call you out on it real quickly. Yeah, that I will do.
I'm calling you out on your BS.
But it's out of love. It's out of love. I tell my 15-year-old all the time, I was like, if I did not love you, I wouldn't say a word to you. I wouldn't say a word to you. But because I love you, there's going to be correction, because when you love somebody, there's correction whenever you do something wrong. It's okay to make that mistake, but don't make it constantly. There's going to be bigger consequences for those things.
Yeah, so I think, I'm on board with, I think hovering, like getting them to and from places, I'm okay with that because I'm not taking no chances and letting no one kidnap you. You know what I mean? Like, but with that, right? But doing things, you know what I'm saying? Like task around the house, or if they're trying any type of endeavor, right? Don't snowplow and clear every obstacle out of the road.
Right.
Because then they will never learn how to deal with adversity. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sometimes with the kids here, sometimes I inject adversity just to get, because I don't want them, they live a pretty good life. They not struggling the way we were coming up. Right. You know what I mean? Like they eat ramen because they think it's good.
We ate ramen because that's all we had.
You know what I mean? Like,
yo, my kids will legit try to eat ramen for dinner after I done cook them a 3-course meal, and I'm like, what? What? Homemade spaghetti and meatballs? We didn't get hot meals like this. You know
my
what I
kids
mean?
was like, "Ooh, cup of noodles? Oh, can I?" I'm like, "Ooh,
Yep.
Okay, so then we all just have the same type of kids. Is what it sounds like.
You want this cup of noodles?"
That's funny. Creative Native said, I find myself saying things my pops and grandpa would have told me as a kid. I was 16 before too. I had a conversation with someone earlier. Shout out to my boy Biz out there. Same thing. But yeah, I just think like some things you got to let them fall. You know what I mean? Because they need to learn how to pick themselves up. Because if they never learn how to pick themselves up, if you do too much micro-parenting and you save them from ever feeling defeat, you have to fail. Because when you fail, you know how to deal with it. So when you get out there in the world, you won't, maybe you have a higher probability of not suffering from depression, you know what I mean? Or doing something that gets you arrested or killed because you weren't prepared to deal with adversity. You know what I mean? So like on that hand, I say you got to let them struggle on certain things.
Yeah, I firmly agree. I think we could call it healthy parenting limitations.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Healthy parenting limitations.
Healthy
so
limitations. I like that.
My daughter is going to be 16 at the end of May. And I told her when she's 16, she will be allowed to date. However, there's going to be some limitations to that. Who you date before she's even allowed to date. She's going to be going through a class that we have at our church that I've talked about before on the podcast called Bria. And Bria is the type of class that she's going to go through where it helps you identify red flags and toxic traits in relationships, how those characteristics build up to habits and stuff, and being able to identify those. And this is going to be good because I told her, she ain't going to be dating just anybody. There's going to be parameters set in place, but they're going to be healthy parameters. It's not because I'm being a jerk. It's just because I find myself to be an excellent person. I breed excellence, and she is too. She's going to be learning what her self-worth is, and I'm not going to have somebody else tearing her down who's not going to be on that same level, religiously, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're not here to date and play games. In the sense of being a Christian woman, I'm teaching her to be a good mother. I'm teaching her to be a good wife, because this is where we're going to be in life. She's going to be that Proverbs 31 woman that some man is going to be praying for.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, anyways, I know y'all don't hear that probably pretty often for some of the females. So I wanted you to hear it from me first.
Oh, that's good.
Excellence in our home. I am raising God-fearing, independent young ladies who are going to be good wives and good mothers, because we're not going to have that. You know what I mean? I'm not like that. We ain't going to have that.
Exactly. I'm the same way as far as my daughter and my son. My son is going to be one of those young men that not just quote scriptures but live scripture.
Yeah.
That's what's up. There was a wise prophet by the name of Ricky Bobby that says, if you're not winning, you're losing. If you're not first, you're last, right? Hey, man, I like to breed winners. Like,
Ricky,
I like to breed winners, man.
That's right.
When in terms of what you're talking about with the relationship stuff, man, I did it with my older kids. They're grown. And I have younger kids that I'm mentoring as much as they will let me. And my spiel to them is, what scenario will put you in a winning situation? You know what I mean? Like, because what's going to help you win? Do you want to win? I guess actually you got to step back. Do you want to win? Do you want to be a winner? Because sometimes not everybody wants to be a winner. You know what I mean? And what I'm learning is you can't force people to be winners. Yep. You do your best, right? You give them
the truth.
And you know the reason why people don't want to win?
Why is that?
Afraid of the responsibility that comes along with winning.
And accountability. The accountability that comes along with it too.
Yeah, a lot of accountability. Ooh, you know what? I would say that's the number one thing I want to teach the children around me, man, is that accountability, dude. Like, there's so much lack of accountability out there. But
don't say something and do something different.
No, 100%. Doers
of the word, you know what I mean?
100%. I would say the thing when it comes to the dating thing, I always tell the kids like just learn to love you first, right? Because that's just through my journey. That's what I learned is, do you love you? Because if you don't love you, how can you expect someone else to love you? Because you don't know how to show them how to love you. You know what I mean? And I get it, because I got teenagers around me right now, and of course they look at us like corny. Oh, yo, corny old ass. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I wish you would have the gall to try to say that to me.
They won't say it, but you could look at the glazed eyes when you're trying to give them the game. You know what I mean? They're just like, whatever. I'm gonna get back on TikTok. You know what I mean?
You want to know what's funny?
What's up?
When my kids thought I was corny, so one time when I was at the studio, or no, I forgot where I was, and it's some guys that they know from, like, I guess, like, their friends know this person, and this other person, and that person know me. So he walked up to me. I'm like, "What's up?" I gave him dap and everything. Like, "Oh, you know him? You know him?" I'm like,
"Yep."
You know what I'm saying? They're like, "Oh," I'm like, you think your daddy? You didn't know your daddy was cool. It was like, "Oh," so now it's like they got a whole different vibe around me because I know people.
Yep. Oh yeah. Let me see. Creative Data said, as parents with older children, all I can say is never expect what you want for your kids, because God has a weird sense of humor.
Bruh.
He may have a weird sense of humor, but he still has a purpose and a plan for their life. And so I'm going to continue to be the parent that's going to help see them through to that purpose, because I didn't have that. So if I could do or be anything for my kids, it's to be what I didn't have, what I needed. Not what I wanted, what I needed from a mother and from a father. We are generational curse breakers in our family, my friend.
We sure are.
I don't accept that. We are generational curse breakers.
Drop the bomb on that. Yep. I think too, when we're talking about, okay, what's that line of separation of micromanaging and managing? I think to what you're saying is, I think the managing point is giving them that guidance. Giving them the guidance, giving them the lessons, giving them the tools, giving them the resources, but we gotta let the birdies fly. If they fall, they gotta get back up and fly, right? But just be there to guide them, right? And to Creative Native's point, they gonna do what they want to do. You know why? Because that's what we did.
Yep. Real talk. We were the generation of the FAFO. We were the generation of that. That's you know what I'm saying? We'd be like, it's hot. It's hot. How hot is it?
Boy, not hot. Let me check one more time.
One more time.
Okay, wait a minute. Maybe if I touch it again, it won't be as hot as it was.
Try with my left hand.
But I think that's the managing piece. And also too, the giving that guidance, and then I'm okay with her. I'm being with them to get to work and whatever, school and whatnot, because I'm not taking that chance, man. I'm just not taking that chance.
Yeah.
But I think the micromanaging comes in when you don't let them fail. You know what I'm saying? And because you're too afraid of their feelings of being hurt. This whole everybody gets a trophy thing. Nah, man. You need to not get a trophy because you sucked. Maybe you will take accountability and practice whatever it is, right? And get better.
Yeah.
Get better.
Don't be mad because somebody over here is succeeding in something, but that's because they worked for it. You stood back and watched it. Don't be mad. Nope. Trust me, I have that conversation with my daughter all the time. This month I'll have the same kid.
There you go.
For real. Thank you, Corey. Say that again.
I like that. Don't be a spectator, be the participator. Okay. I like
that. I got the lines, bro. I got it.
Hey, Creative Nation said, I love Bobby's energy. Be prepared. Hey, I like it. That's what's up. I think that's a good place to wrap this one up, man. Don't be a spectator, be the participator. And you know what? I would even say be the congratulator, because you know what? When you willing to lift someone else up, hey, that karma comes around, baby. Come on now.
Yep.
Those soul will bear fruit.
There you go. Hey, another good episode, y'all, man. This was a good one. Hey, tell you what, this is the first time in the history of Technically Speaking where we were covering some breaking news. That was some real ish right there.
That came in like right away. So we need to get this up quick.
Real quick, Corey. Dr. Poole said, hey, participate by putting your damn face back on the screen.
Yeah. So what happened was my battery died on my camera.
That was a good one, Dr. Pooh.
There you go, Dr. Pooh.
There you go. There you go.
I got to blur the background because y'all ain't gonna like what you see.
It's all good. We at the end anyway.
Man, I got a whole hotel room over here behind me. Over here looking at a fridge and a microwave and my pills.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, well, let's go around, man. Let the people know what you got to offer when they over here in the San Antonio area, Bobby.
Hey, if you're in the San Antonio area and you've got some major water damage in your house, if your refrigerator leaks, if your water line busts to your heater, to your water heater, give us a call. Let us help you out. We're going to go ahead and run by there and do a water inspection and just check it out and see what you need, man. I'm the owner of Patriot Restorations LLC. My husband and I will take good care of you. It's Valentino Lopez. Y'all heard him earlier on YouTube.
Hey.
Thank you. Shout out to my husband for supporting me and you know, being what I need. I wouldn't be able to go out and you know, these little deployments, these little trainings and stuff to be successful for my family if I didn't have the support on the back end from him. So for real though, shout out to my husband because he's the best on time always.
Hey, again, Valentino, dude, talking about being very what was the word you said about your critical? The creative native said, Corey, you got a different shirt on, man. You went and changed.
No, I didn't. You just supposed to be able to see it because I had that nice camera on. Now I have to go back to my webcam.
And then I'll go. I'm tech.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Hey, I'm tech _ Von _ go at Instagram. At the vacation rental was live, baby. We getting booked. So if you coming to San Antonio, for whatever reason, thank you. Hey, man. If you coming,
your shoes off walking in the house.
Nah, we got someone to clean it up. We good. Just don't be crazy with it. Don't be crazy with it, man. Nice. Thank you. Come through. If you come in San Antonio, hit me up. I can shoot you a link. I'll even hit you up with a little discount, man. So
I might take you up on that this summer, man.
Come through, man. Come through
like the Kung Fu. And it's your game man with the game plan. Corey Giovanni tapping in for all your entertainment podcast needs. I actually got a special going on right now. So if you want to tap in, make sure you go ahead, hit your boy in on CoreENT.biz for all your needs. And if you just want to holler at your folks, make sure you do this before you do that. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you put something in the chat so we can talk back. It's your main man, Corey Giovanni.
Hey, technically speaking, we out. Thank you to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We out. Y'all have a good night.